Oh, hey there. Have you ever known anybody who was flaky? You ever know anybody who doesn't answer their phone, doesn't return messages or phone calls, only wants to be around you whenever it's convenient, and maybe beyond that, like sometimes they're really nice and you're like, wow, I really like you as a person. And sometimes you're like, I don't know if you're a venomous snake or like a ferocious wolf or if you're a human being, because I don't know what to expect. I can do the same thing. I can put in the same input, like, I was nice to you. And you could be like, I'm nice back, or not so much. That is a hard person to be around, okay? Because if they're unstable, then you're like, it's unpredictable and I don't know what I'm getting. Now, everybody has bad days, okay? I understand this. But sometimes people are just like, yikes, you're a pariah. Nobody wants to be around you because you're unstable. Now, look, the Bible says in James chapter 1 that it talks about prayer and faith, okay? And it says, if you lack something, ask God, who gives to all men liberally without finding fault. That's an important part, okay? Now, he's talking about wisdom here, but also our needs, our daily needs. That's discussed in other places. And he says, but let him ask in faith, because if he doubts, then he is a double-minded man, unstable in all of his ways. Don't let him think that he will receive anything from the Lord. Yikes. That sounds pretty rough. Now, him or her, okay? So, whatever. Nevertheless, that paints a pretty bad picture for us, right? Like, hey, if you doubt God, then you're unstable in all of your ways and don't think that you're going to receive anything from God. I have what has been described as a very childlike and also strong faith, okay? When God says something, I'm like, I believe him. And you're like, but what about all these excuses? Or have you questioned everything? I'm like, nope, I have not. I've thought it through, and here's what I've resolved in my mind. If God says it, I believe it, the end, okay? If the Bible says it, I believe it. Now, am I doing this stupidly? Perhaps in your opinion. However, I've tested everything I can possibly test, and God has never failed me. And so sometimes things don't go the way that I want them to, but that's irrelevant because oftentimes God protects me from myself because I'm a dum-dum, okay? We all kind of are. Nevertheless, if we just believe, if we take God at his word, if he says, I'm going to do this, I'm like, I trust you. Let me tell you who else I trust in the world. I've got a comprehensive list of it right here. Hold on. Nobody. I trust nobody. I'm the biggest skeptic, and I expect nothing from no one all the time, okay? But when God says something, I'm like, he will do what he says. The end. I have no questions. There are a few people that if they say, hey, I'm going to be here on this day at this time and it's going to cost this much money or whatever in the world, I'm like, that's a solid dude. They will do it. If they don't, there will be a good reason, okay? I love working with those people. I love being around those people. I love having those people as friends. The other ones, the unstable ones, I love you too. I want you to know that for the record. I do love you. However, you are like a pebble in my shoe. You're like a thorn in my side. I'm like, just answer the question. Just believe it. There are people that have a problem for every solution. And there comes a point where I'm just like, I'm done telling you. Like, I'm not going to waste any breath. If you're not going to do what I say, then why in the world would you? What do you think I should do about fill in the blank? I'm like, this is your answer. I don't know. I'm like, well, then why did you ask me? You asked me what I thought. I told you what I thought. I don't lose any sleep over it. I want you to know that. I don't lose any sleep over it. But I think we need to have that childlike, simple, strong faith that when God says, I'm going to do something, that we do it. Also, be a solid person. I love you guys. Have a good night.